So just monkeying around with the chart here. We go back. I've got the inflation adjustment turned off because I just want to see the real numbers. If you turn on the inflation adjusted for inflation thing, then it gets kind of wonky looking, and you can't really get a grasp of where the dollar was or what the actual amount was. So this goes back to, I believe it's about 1900 up to the current date. Let's see. Yeah, it goes back to it says August 1915. And it looked like it was, 50 cents, 51 cents an ounce. We have some spikes here. $36 in February of 1980. We have another big spike here. Let's see if I can get that on there. And mouse is March 2011. It goes up to $40. I thought it was up a little higher than that, but maybe I was wrong. I thought it went up to $50 or $49. But anyways, so I keep hearing that silver is flat. Well, you might say up until maybe in the 60s here somewhere, mid 60s, all that might have been flat. You could call it flat, but the fact of the matter is the lower the number goes, so you get $1 versus $1.50. That's not big of a difference in today's money. You go back 200 years, and that's a hell of a big difference. It's a 50% increase, which for us in today's dollars, that doesn't really mean a whole lot. You got $1, you got $1.50. Okay, that's pocket lint. You got $1.50 in 1801. It's a little bit different story. So these, even back here, when you go back to these numbers, way back here, it's running $1.15. Okay, but you got a 55-cent here, and then you got $1.15 here, and that's a spread over just a couple years. Well, okay, you doubled it over the spread of a couple years there, a few years. So from 1915 to 1919, 4 years, it's a little more than doubled, just barely more than doubled. Okay, that's a 100% increase. So, from our perspective, of 55 cents, $1.15, it's not that big a deal. But what if silver is $23 and it goes up to $46? It's doubled. That's basically what happened there. You're telling me that you don't see any, not you, but some of these people on YouTube who just make me giggle. You're telling me you don't see any opportunity to make any money there. So you see you see how it's 51 cents here. And then it goes all the way up to $1.13, and then it drops back down to 63 cents. You don't see any opportunity to make money there. For the people that trash silver constantly, you don't see any chance, any way of coming out ahead there. In your mind, you had a silver that was worth 51 cents, and then it spiked up, and you're thinking, oh, God, I'm rich, and then it went right back down to 63, thinking, oh, I'm poor again. Is that how you did it? Really? This is where you buy. This is where you get the hell out of it. You trade it for something else because now it's worth double the money, and you find gold or platinum or palladium or whatever. Even back in the early 1900s, if you had if all these metals were available, and you were, we had bullion like today, you could still make money off this. This is liquid gold right here to me. This is what I love. Volatility. Volatility is where your bread and butter is. Volatility is where your money is at. That's where your profits are at. It's not keeping up with the stock market. It's not keeping up with the S&P or the Dow Jones. If it's not making you money, if you're not coming out ahead, you're not doing it right. That's all I can say. You're not doing it right. You would have sat on your metals this entire time, wouldn't you? And it would have stagnated, and then you would have been crying on YouTube back in 1921, crying about how horrible metals are, how horrible silver is. Blaming the metal. Instead of just blaming yourself and saying, I don't know what I'm doing. If you don't know what you're doing, that's okay to say that you don't know what you're doing. It's okay to admit that you don't know what you're doing. There's a lot of stuff my wife does, and I have no clue what she's doing. There's stuff that I do. She looks over my shoulder like, what the hell are you doing? I have to explain it to her. She's got to explain stuff to me. It's okay not to know what the hell you're doing. It's not okay to not know what the hell you're doing and then try to blame the thing that you're doing, blame it. It's like if you can't drive a race car, you crash every time, that's a you problem. If you can't fly an airplane, get the hell out of the cockpit. It's okay to admit that you don't know what the hell you're doing, but it's not okay to blame the airplane. It's you. You know, there's about 1 billion examples that I could give, and you're gonna, you know what I mean? It is what it is. You either know what the hell you're doing or you don't. Clearly, you don't know what the hell you're doing. This, sweetie, is not flat. And I even showed you back in the 1900s, it wasn't flat. You had a 50% increase and then a drop. That fluctuation is what you want. If something remains flat, it's harder for you to make money. You can come out ahead, but it's a lot harder. It takes longer. This is volatility. Look at this. You're telling me this is pancake flat? This is the definition of volatility. Even when you went back there, it was still volatile. Even all that looks flat right there. Hell, let's just pick any random spot here. I'll go here, and then we'll take this one back and slide right there. Let's see if they got any volatility there. Holy crap, that might be a little bit too much volatility. Let's look and see. There you go. There's volatility right there. 30 cents up to 65 cents. So it went from 28 cents up to 64 cents. Again, doubled your money right there. Doubled your money. You bought here, you sell there. What was it? 1930. Again, 3 years. 3 years. So you doubled your money in 3 years. You got 100% increase for 3 years. 100%. That's a little bit higher than inflation. You know what I'm saying? Expand it out a little bit more. See what else we can get in there. Okay, there's some more volatility. Look at that volatility. We're just look at this. Now it goes up. It goes up. Okay, there's your growth. There's your growth. Okay. So you bought down. If you bought down here, wow! Now your silver is up here, and that's what you're looking for, is these trends. Just seeing what it's doing. You had your volatility down here where you're trading off, buying and selling, and you know, buying on the lows and selling on the highs. Okay, you buy here, 1940 and 1945. It goes. What was it in there? Right here, it's 35 cents and 41. 1946, which is 5 years later, but it is not triple. It's worth about a little more than, it's about, what, 125% more than what you paid for it. So there again, 5 years, that's a pretty good return for somebody that's, you know, just buying the metals and holding on to them. Now, there might be some stretches here where it's a little less volatile, right in here in the 60s, but then you get to the late 60s, early 70s, and volatility starts back up again. You know, and now it's just completely out of control. You can't tell me that you don't see opportunity here to make money. If you don't see any opportunities here, you need to get the hell out of metals. You either need to go take a class, or you just need to admit defeat. Stop getting on YouTube and running your mouth. It's ironic. So, when I don't like something, when something has pissed me off, you know what I do? I get the hell away from it. I stay away from it. I don't even talk to the people that are involved with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go finding people to run my mouth at because they're enjoying something or they're doing something that is benefiting their lives. But I tried it, or I did it, or maybe I just developed an opinion about it, and I don't want nothing to do with it. You know what I don't do? I don't go insert myself into their shit, trying to make them feel like they're doing something wrong. I've got friends that do all kinds of stuff that I don't want nothing to do with. I used to golf. I don't like golfing anymore. I don't have the personality for it. You have to be patient. You have to be willing to keep repeating the same exact thing over and over and over. That's not me, baby. I can't do it. So I had to give golf up. I got pretty decent at it, but the problem is I keep tweaking things. I keep working on things. I keep changing things. And then I got to start all over again, which was causing me all kinds of problems. Sorry, I got a food allergy. Causing me all kinds of problems, so I had to quit. You know what I can do? I can admit that the problem with golf was not golf. It was a me problem. You know why I can do that? Because I'm a mature adult man, but I'm a mature adult. I'm logical and reasonable, and I can look at the situation and say, golf sucks. And I see a lot of people do it. They'll blame the golf clubs. They'll blame the golf course. They'll blame the weather. They'll blame the duck shit everywhere. It's not all that. It's you. If it wasn't you, then Tiger Woods couldn't have done what he did. If it's not you, then Jack Nicklaus couldn't have done what he did. It's not the game. It's not the clubs. It's not the balls. It's not the grass. It's not the duck shit. It's not the weather. It's not the clouds. It's not the guy standing behind you blowing his nose during your swing. It's you. You suck. I admit it. I couldn't keep it up. It's the same with this. It's the same damn thing with this. If you can't look at these charts, if you can't watch trends, if you can't watch patterns, if you can't figure out how to play metals off each other, this is a you problem, baby. It's not the metals. We know that this is the case because a lot of people, millions and 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 millions of people around the world are doing just fine. They love their gold and silver and platinum and palladium and rhodium and their copper and their silver and their tungsten. They love it. They make money on it. It's commodities, baby. It's okay for you to say, well, I don't want to get into commodities. I want to get into the stock market and buy 5,000 shares of, food allergy. 5,000 shares of Microsoft. If you want to do that, more power to you, baby. You know what I don't do again? I don't come over to their websites running my mouth on you and calling you stupid for doing it. No matter how I feel about your stupidity, I don't come over to YouTube onto your channels running my mouth. You know why? Because again, I'm a mature adult. I'm not a child. I'm not a little child who somehow got screwed by someone telling me to buy silver now, buy it now, it's going to go to the moon, and couldn't figure out if it was going to go to the moon, if it was actually going to go to the moon. This guy, this con artist, would have kept it for himself and sold it when it went to the moon, not sold it to me now for less money. You get what I'm saying? If you're too stupid to figure that one out, you might have, the lesson learned might have been deserved. Somebody's telling you silver, it's $40 now, buy, it's going to go to the moon. Well, if it was going to go to the moon, don't you think the guy would have kept it and sold it when it went to the moon? You weren't intelligent enough to figure that one out. So you went and you hawked everything you had. You emptied out your savings account. You closed out your IRA or 401k or whatever you had. Took all them losses and put every dime you had into silver because some guy was selling it at $40 an ounce and said it was going to go to the moon. And you jumped on board not knowing what the hell you were doing. And you couldn't figure out that this guy has to be lying, because if it was going to go to the moon and he knew it, he would have kept it for himself and sold it then. And then the price goes back down to the average equilibrium, whatever price it is right there, which today it's about $23. That's about the average. It's a little bit higher, a little bit lower. It's about that price, $23.50. If it goes up to 46 and you buy, you're the dumbass. You're the moron. There's nothing wrong with the metal. You just did something stupid. There you go. That's it. It's you. Just be a man, be an adult, be a woman, be a mature human being, and just admit, you know what? Be intelligent. Just say, hey, I screwed this up. I know Tiger Woods can play golf. I don't blame the clubs. I blame myself. I can't do this. Lots of people are making money on these metals. They're enjoying it after 40 years, like myself, and they're still enjoying it. They're still coming out ahead every transaction. It must be me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Nope, you'd rather come into YouTube and act like a petulant 4-year-old, calling people losers or whatever you're going to call them, pretending like it's the metal. It's not. It's you, baby. It's you.